let's get started with. I'll kind of continue on Natalia's speech because it's also about collective management, but let's focus on some more specific legal stuff. So I'll be talking about this new institute called Independent Management Entity, and what does it really mean, and what is supposed to change in the collective management. So what is it all about? Well, you all have heard about collective management, that they are supposed to manage authors' rights and take care about all the authors and writers and publishers and musicians and all the stuff, and also collect the money. Okay, so this is like the usual collective management scheme, and what's new? Okay, it's not really looking as I was as it was supposed to, but well, okay. So standard scenario looks like, well, we have this author, he creates some work, and we have this user, and usually he wants to use the work which author created. So he has to either use it within the exceptions and limitations of copyright, or conclude some kind of agreement either with the author or with the collective management society. Then we have mandatory collective management, extended collective management, voluntary collective management, and depending on that, author is receiving some kind of money. So this is like the standard. And what's if you think it's quite complicated, well, let's see what's next. This new institute is called Independent Management Entity, and it's supposed to be like the new thing for the right holders who should be able to entrust the management of the rights to these independent management entities alongside the typical scheme. What does it really mean? This independent entity is there to manage copyright and to manage rights related to copyright and behalf on more than one right holder for the collective benefit of all of them, and they are able to do it commercially. It's like the difference between the normal collective management and this new institute. So basically, everyone can start this collective management independent collective entity, and just collect the authors who wants to be represented by him, and enter the business. So this is also kind of shifted, but whatever. We can manage. So we have this work, and in the previous scheme, the author was involved in these three types of collective management, and now he has other option to cooperate with this independent management entity. From the user's perspective, he has like 4 possibilities. I'm not sure if I'm using this presentation well anymore, but whatever. The user has 4 possibilities, either to use the work within the limitations and exceptions of copyright, or to conclude the license agreement with the author, or conclude the license agreement with collective management organization, or enter into the relationship with this independent management entity. So there's more possibilities for him, and it's kind of more complicated, and he has to be more educated about the copyright and what's really happening. And so, yeah, so this is kind of good for copyright lawyers, but I don't know if it's really good for the users and the authors. So there are a lot of questions. Actually, how is this gonna work? Who pays who? Where you should go? Where you wanna, if you wanna, conclude the agreement? If you wanna play some music? If you wanna play some music in your bar or perform some artistic performance. And what is better? Is it better to conclude this agreement with the author, with the collective management organization, with this independent society? A lot of questions there. So I've tried to, create a scheme, to prepare a really nice graph and show it to you, and but I failed like many times. So this is one of my tries, and I will be really happy if you are interested. Just talk to me after break, after the presentation, and I can, show you my scheme and explain it a bit. But in this moment, it's not really possible, and we are kind of running out of time. So let's talk about something more practical. Actually, this is not a theoretical scheme anymore. We actually have 2 independent management entities in the Czech Republic. One is called CopyMarket, as you can see on the screen, and the second one is IS Media, which is actually cooperating with Soundry from UK. But this one, called CopyMarket, is purely Czech, and it's new system. And how does it look? Well, you can see these 15 types of licenses. It's in Czech, but it actually doesn't matter because it all says that I am playing my music in the restaurant or in pub or in radio or something like that. And you can see only 15 of them. But actually, on the website, there's almost 200 of them. So if you really want to play some music and to use this independent management entity, you have to kind of go through like tons and tons of licenses and to choose the one which is suitable for you. So this plan to ease it for the users, it's not really working in this time. So we have this legal theory on the level of European Union and on national levels and in our Copyright Act and in Polish Copyright Act as soon as possible, I guess. And this is kind of theory, and also we have this real life, how does it really work? And there is the third thing, that we have usually this discrepancy between legal theory and real life, but now we have also the actual practices of collective management organizations are not really into like letting some other players into the market. So what is gonna really happen, it's in the stars. So what's the future regime? What's the future of this collective management? And especially on the internet, it's we don't know yet. And I'd be really happy if you can share your comments and ideas, or if you have some independent management entity in your country, I'd be really happy to talk to you after the presentation. So thank you very much, and attribution for the GET. Thank you very much, and yeah.